All right, guys, today I'm kind of getting a little bit vulnerable, talking about my struggles with lust. I'm currently 22 years old, and lust is something that I've dealt with basically my whole entire life. I remember the first time my friend showed me corn is when I was probably 10 or 12 years old. He went on his older brother's laptop and showed it to me for the first time. And, it kind of opened up my eyes to a whole new world. It changed my perception on a lot of things. And as soon as I started consistently watching that, I just noticed myself to become so much more lustful and, crave sexual desires that are unrealistic and, just really put myself in a really bad mindset at a young age. And kind of recovering from that and trying to get better has definitely been a struggle for me. It has not been easy. And the biggest thing I'll say about watching corn is that when I was, for a long time, I was kind of questioning to myself why I was watching it. And, I got I don't know if I would say addicted, but I was at the point where I was definitely watching it multiple times every single week. And I just thought it was normal. All my friends would do it too. And yeah, it's normalized in our society, especially at that age, to, watch corn and do all that, which, it's kind of sad that it is normalized because of how much it impacts your future relationships, your understanding of sexual relationships and all of that. It affects much more than you think. And it just kind of also gives you a very negative attitude and negative perspective on women in general. Which is definitely not a good thing to develop at a young age. But what I noticed about myself is I wasn't even necessarily watching it out of sexual desire or out of lust necessarily. I was more so doing it because it's an old habit and because I was just bored. A big reason why I was doing it was straight up out of boredom. And, this was before I had a girlfriend. I was still hanging out with my friends a lot, but the time when I was home and I didn't have much to do, this is before I found the gym and nutrition and all this stuff. I was at home. It would be late at night. I would stay up all night, especially during COVID, playing video games, zombies, whatever, with my friends. It would be, 2, 3 a.m. and I get off the game. Everyone gets off for the night and I'm just sitting in bed, bored as shit, but I'm not tired, because I just play video games. My brain is so stimulated. So I'm not tired yet. And I have nothing else to do. No one else is awake. So I just start watching corn. And it's as simple as that, man. That just kind of turns into a bad habit. And, soon enough, I end up just getting really addicted to it, doing it more and more often. And, what really changed my mindset on lust is that one day I kind of started to realize the patheticness of it. I think I saw a YouTube video where maybe one of my friends told me, I'm not quite sure how I came across this, but I started to just think about the act and how pathetic it was. I'm sitting in my bed late at night when everyone's asleep and I'm watching other people have sex and I'm doing stuff to it, and I'm watching corn all the time, and I'm putting this stuff in my brain. It's clearly not good for me, and it's just pathetic. Think about it from another person's perspective. If someone walked in on you in the middle of the night, jerking your shit, watching corn, that's just pathetic. Why would you do that? You're literally jerking your shit off to other people having sex, which is just crazy pathetic. And once I came to that realization, it made it a lot easier to refrain from doing it as much. I would still relapse and go back every once in a while, but it made it a lot easier to justify not doing it. And every single time I did do it, my whole entire life had a terrible feeling afterwards. I felt so guilty and I knew it was wrong, but I would just keep doing it because I was just so bored and I just craved that instant gratification for so long. But, after having a girlfriend for a while now and kind of realizing how that can negatively affect your relationships and just your views on certain things, it's made it clear to me that, lust is something that as a man you have to control. you have to. If you do not learn how to control your lust, then it will take over and just genuinely just ruin your life. Something about this generation is that we undervalue the emotional connection behind sex. Because of porn and because of social media, it's become such a unemotional just act, just like something to do, when in reality it was meant to be an emotional, spiritual, soul-tying connection with your partner, and nowadays it's become something so meaningless, which is, it's really sad, honestly. It's so sad that it's come to this point. But, even though we're surrounded by all this negative attention on lust, it's important that we focus up and kind of ignore all the noise and just realize what's really important to us. And what's helped me a lot with lust is my appreciation for God and my motivation to become a better person, and not take part in these actions that are just pathetic and lead to lifelong struggles with lust.